You're tired. So deeply, profoundly tired, that it goes beyond just needing sleep. It's the kind of weariness that settles into your bones, wraps around your heart, and whispers that maybe you're just not strong enough for all of this. Maybe you've never been strong enough. The day feels like it's been stretching on forever, doesn't it? Each hour dragging its weight across your shoulders, adding another stone to the pile you're already carrying. And you've been carrying so much for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to walk without that burden pressing down on you, making each step feel like you're walking through thick mud. There are the obvious weights. The bills that seem to multiply when you're not looking. The relationships that feel more like battlefields than safe harbors. The job that demands pieces of your soul while giving back just enough to keep you showing up. The health concerns that keep you awake at 3 a.m., running scenarios in your mind like a broken record player stuck on the same fearful song. But then there are the invisible weights, aren't there? The ones that no one else can see, but feel just as heavy, maybe heavier. The weight of disappointment. In yourself, in others, in how life has turned out compared to what you dreamed it would be when you were younger and everything felt possible. The weight of regret. Those choices you made or didn't make that keep echoing through your days like ghosts that won't be laid to rest. There's the weight of loneliness, even when you're surrounded by people. Especially when you're surrounded by people. Because somehow it feels worse to feel alone in a crowd than to actually be alone. At least when you're by yourself, the loneliness makes sense. But when you're laughing at someone's joke while your heart feels like it's screaming into an empty void, when you're nodding along to conversations that feel like they're happening in a foreign language, even though everyone's speaking your native tongue, that's when the weight becomes almost unbearable. And what about the weight of trying to be everything to everyone? The way you've become so good at shape-shifting, molding yourself into whatever version of you that you think others need or want to see. The strong one for your family, the reliable one at work, the fun one with friends, the perfect one on social media. You've become a master of masks, haven't you? And each mask weighs more than you realized when you first put it on. There's the weight of expectations, the ones others have placed on you and the ones you've placed on yourself. The voice in your head that keeps a running tally of all the ways you're falling short, all the things you should be doing better, all the versions of yourself you should have become by now. That voice that never seems to take a vacation, never gives you credit for how hard you're trying, never acknowledges that maybe, just maybe, you're doing the best you can with what you've been given. The weight of worry is perhaps the heaviest of all. It's like carrying a storm cloud everywhere you go, always anticipating the next lightning strike. Worry about your children, if you have them. Are you raising them right? Are you giving them enough attention, enough guidance, enough love? Are you somehow damaging them in ways you can't even see? And if you don't have children, there's the worry about whether you should, whether you're missing out on something essential, whether time is running out for dreams you haven't even fully acknowledged yet. Worry about your parents aging, about being the one who has to make impossible decisions about their care. Worry about your own aging, about your body betraying you in ways both small and large. Worry about the world your loved ones are inheriting. A world that seems to be fracturing and burning and flooding all at once. A world where it's hard to know who to trust or what to believe anymore. And underneath all of these specific worries is the deeper, more primal fear. The fear that you're fundamentally alone in this universe, that you're making it all up as you go along, and everyone else has received some manual for living that somehow never made it to you. The fear that you're not enough, have never been enough, and despite all your efforts to convince the world otherwise, someday everyone will figure out that you're just pretending to know what you're doing. You carry the weight of past hurts too, don't you? Those wounds that you thought had healed, but then something, a smell, a song, a random Tuesday that feels too much like that other Tuesday when everything fell apart. And suddenly you're right back there, feeling every bit as raw and broken as you did when it first happened. The betrayals that taught you to build walls, the losses that taught you that nothing good lasts forever, the failures that taught you to expect disappointment, so you're never caught off guard by it again. There's the weight of the dreams you've had to let go of, the ones that felt so real and possible once upon a time. Maybe it was the career you thought you'd have, the place you thought you'd live, the person you thought you'd become, or the person you thought you'd end up with. Dreams have weight when they die, don't they? They don't just disappear. They transform into this heavy, aching sense of what might have been, what should have been, what you were so sure was going to be. And then there are the daily weights, the ones that accumulate like snow, innocent enough individually, but collectively enough to cause an avalanche. The pressure to keep up with everyone else's highlight reels while you're living in your behind-the-scenes reality. The constant noise of notifications and news cycles, and the feeling that you should have an opinion about everything, should be informed about everything, should care about everything with equal intensity. The exhaustion of living in a world that never stops, never sleeps, never gives you permission to simply be still. You carry the weight of your own sensitivity in a world that often rewards callousness. The way you feel everything so deeply, the suffering of strangers on the news, the casual cruelty of comment sections, the undertones in conversations that others miss. Your heart that was designed to be a sanctuary sometimes feels more like a raw nerve ending, picking up every bit of pain and discord in your environment and making it yours to carry. There's the weight of unfinished business too. The conversations you need to have but keep putting off, the apologies you owe or the ones you're waiting to receive, the dreams gathering dust in the corner of your heart because life got in the way. The weight of potential energy that never gets transformed into actual movement, like carrying around a bag full of seeds that you never plant because you're not sure the ground is ready, not sure you have enough water, not sure you have enough faith that anything beautiful could actually grow from your efforts. And what about the weight of watching others suffer? The helplessness you feel when someone you love is in pain, and there's nothing you can do to fix it, nothing you can say to make it better. The weight of witnessing injustice, of seeing systems that crush the vulnerable while protecting the powerful. The weight of knowing that there's so much broken in the world, and your two hands, your one voice, your single life feels so small against the magnitude of what needs healing. You've been carrying all of this, haven't you? Day after day, week after week, year after year. Some days the load feels manageable, distributed in a way that you can handle. But other days, days like today, maybe, it all shifts and settles in a way that makes it hard to breathe, hard to take the next step, hard to believe that you can keep going. And the exhausting part is that you've been carrying it alone. Oh, you might share pieces of it with others. The socially acceptable struggles, the ones that make you seem human but not broken, relatable but not too needy. But the deeper weights, the ones that feel too heavy or too strange or too shameful, those you've been shouldering in solitude, haven't you? You've convinced yourself that this is just what being an adult means, that everyone else is carrying similar loads and managing just fine, that your struggle to keep up means you're somehow deficient rather than just human. You've told yourself that asking for help is weakness, that needing comfort is childish, that if you were stronger or better or more evolved spiritually, you wouldn't feel so crushed by the weight of simply existing in this complicated world. But what if you're wrong about all of that? What if the reason this all feels so heavy is because you were never meant to carry it alone? What if there's been someone waiting all this time for you to simply acknowledge that you can't do this by yourself, that you need more than your own strength to keep going, that you're desperate for someone strong enough to share this load? What if, right now in this moment, you could finally stop pretending that you have it all together? What if you could let your shoulders drop, let your guard down, let the carefully constructed image of having your life figured out just fall away? What if you could admit, even just to yourself, that you're tired of being strong, tired of having all the answers, tired of being everyone's rock when what you really need is to be held? The beautiful thing about exhaustion is that it strips away all the pretense, doesn't it? When you're this tired, you don't have energy left for the masks, for the performance, for convincing anyone, including yourself, that you're fine. Exhaustion is honest in a way that nothing else is. It says, this is too much, I need help, I can't do this alone anymore. And maybe that honesty, that raw acknowledgement of your need, is exactly where transformation begins. Maybe the very thing you've been seeing as weakness, this overwhelming tiredness, this sense of being crushed by life's weight, is actually the doorway to something you've been searching for without even knowing it. Because somewhere, in the midst of all this heaviness, there's been a quiet longing, hasn't there? A deep, wordless yearning for someone who sees all of this weight you're carrying and doesn't tell you to be stronger, doesn't offer quick fixes or empty platitudes, doesn't try to talk you out of feeling what you're feeling. Someone who simply says, come here, let me hold this with you, let me hold you. The longing to be truly known, not just the version of you that you present to the world, but the you that exists in the 3 a.m. darkness when all your defenses are down. The you that cries in the shower, so no one else has to hear. The you that sometimes feels like you're faking your way through life, and any moment someone's going to call you out as a fraud. The you that loves so deeply it hurts, that feels so much it's overwhelming, that tries so hard it's exhausting. You've been searching for someone who can love that version of you, the messy, struggling, beautifully imperfect version that you usually try to hide. Someone who looks at all your brokenness and doesn't see something that needs to be fixed, but something precious that needs to be held with care. Tonight, this moment, you don't have to carry this alone anymore. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to pretend that you're fine when you're not, that you're okay when you're hurting, that you can handle this when you feel like you're drowning. There are arms that have been waiting to hold you, strong enough to bear not just your weight, but the weight of everything you've been carrying. Loving enough to see all of your struggles and fears and failures, and love you not despite them, but through them, with them, in the midst of them. You're not too broken to be held. You're not too tired to be loved. You're not too much or too little or too anything. You're exactly who you were created to be, and right now, what you were created to be is someone who needs comfort, who needs rest, who needs to be reminded that you're not alone in this vast, complicated universe. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the weight you've been carrying. Acknowledge how heavy it really is, and know that you don't have to carry it by yourself anymore. There's someone here who sees you, knows you, loves you exactly as you are in this moment. Exhausted and overwhelmed and beautifully, courageously human. Come closer. It's time to let yourself be held. Come closer, beloved. That's it. There's no need to hesitate at the threshold anymore. No need to check if you're worthy enough, or cleaned up enough, or strong enough to be here. You don't earn your way into these arms. You belong here simply because you exist, simply because you're you, simply because love itself called you into being, and has been waiting for this moment when you would finally accept the invitation to come home. Feel how different the air is here. Can you sense it? The way the atmosphere shifts when you step into a space of complete safety, complete acceptance, complete love. It's like the difference between being outside in a raging storm and stepping into a warm house where someone who adores you has been waiting with the lights on and a fire burning in the hearth. The storm is still raging outside. Your problems haven't disappeared. Your circumstances haven't magically changed. But you're no longer standing in the middle of it, buffeted by every wind, soaked by every drop of rain. Here, in this sacred space of divine embrace, you can finally let your guard down. You know that feeling when you've been holding your breath for so long that you didn't even realize you were doing it, and then suddenly you remember to breathe, and the relief is overwhelming. That's what this is like. You've been holding your spiritual breath for so long, braced against the next blow, the next disappointment, the next evidence that the universe is indifferent to your pain. But here, you can finally exhale. Let yourself sink into this safety. Feel how these arms that are wrapping around you are stronger than any force that's been working against you. They're not the arms of someone who will hold you conditionally, who will let go if you become too much trouble, or too complicated, or too broken. These are the arms that held the universe into existence, that spoke light into being, that know every star by name, and yet find time to catch every tear you've ever cried. You don't have to explain yourself here. You don't have to justify your feelings, or apologize for your needs, or minimize your pain to make others more comfortable. There's no need to perform strength you don't feel, or pretend to have peace you haven't found yet. Here, in this embrace, your pain is valid, your exhaustion is understood, your confusion is met with infinite patience. Feel how these arms adjust to hold you exactly as you are right now. Not as you think you should be, not as others expect you to be, not as you're trying to become, but as you are in this very moment, tired, overwhelmed, maybe a little broken, certainly confused about what comes next. These arms don't require you to be anything other than authentic. They don't ask you to put on a brave face, or figure things out, or have your life together. They simply say, whatever you are right now is enough to be loved completely. This is what unconditional love feels like, isn't it? You've heard the words before, maybe even believed them intellectually, but feeling it, really experiencing it, is something altogether different. It's like the difference between reading about the ocean and actually swimming in it. Unconditional love isn't just a concept here. It's the very air you're breathing, the foundation you're resting on, the light that's illuminating every corner of your heart that you thought was too dark to ever be seen or accepted. Notice how you don't have to earn this. There's no performance required, no test to pass, no level of goodness to achieve. You're not here because you've finally gotten your act together, or because you've solved all your problems, or because you've proven yourself worthy. You're here because love itself desired your presence, delighted in your existence, and has been orchestrating this moment of connection since before you took your first breath. Feel the relief of finally being able to stop trying so hard. You've been working so diligently to be acceptable, haven't you? Trying to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, spiritual enough, successful enough, happy enough. The exhaustion you've been feeling isn't just from life's circumstances. It's from the constant effort of trying to qualify for love, trying to earn your place in the world, trying to prove that you deserve kindness and care and acceptance. But here, all that striving can finally cease. These arms are holding you not because of what you've accomplished, but because of who you are. Not because of your successes, but because you're beloved. Not because you've figured life out, but because you're a precious child who needs comfort and guidance and care. The achievement-oriented part of your mind might struggle with this at first. Surely there must be something you need to do, some way you need to prove yourself worthy of this love. But no, the only qualification is your need, and you've already demonstrated that simply by being human. This safety you're feeling, really let yourself sink into it. When was the last time you felt truly safe? Not just physically safe, but emotionally, spiritually, completely safe? Safe to be weak when you need to be weak. Safe to be confused when you don't have answers. Safe to be hurt when life has wounded you. Safe to be angry when injustice has touched your world. Safe to be scared when the future feels uncertain. Most of the spaces in your life require you to modulate your emotions, don't they? To be appropriate, to be reasonable, to be understanding even when you're the one who needs understanding. But here, there's room for all of you. The parts that are grateful and the parts that are grieving, the parts that trust and the parts that doubt, the parts that are hopeful and the parts that are terrified. You don't have to choose which version of yourself to bring into this embrace. All of you is welcome, all of you is seen, all of you is cherished. Feel how these arms create a boundary between you and everything that has been overwhelming you. Not a wall that cuts you off from life, but a protective barrier that filters what can reach you. The criticism that usually penetrates straight to your core and makes you question your worth, it can't get through here. The comparison that usually leaves you feeling inadequate and behind, it has no power in this space. The fear that usually whispers lies about your future, its voice is drowned out by the stronger truth of love speaking peace over your life. This is what it means to take refuge, isn't it? Not to run away from reality, but to find a place of strength and renewal, so that you can face reality from a place of being filled rather than depleted. Like a tree that sinks its roots deep into good soil and draws up the nutrients it needs to weather storms and produce fruit. Here, in this divine embrace, your roots are finding the kind of nourishment your soul has been desperately craving. Notice how your breathing is changing. The shallow, anxious breathing that's become your norm is giving way to something deeper, more restful. With each breath, you're drawing in peace. With each exhale, you're releasing the tension you've been holding. Your nervous system, which has been in survival mode for so long, is finally getting the message that it's safe to relax, safe to rest, safe to stop scanning the horizon for threats. You can feel your muscles beginning to unknot, can't you? The shoulders that have been hunched up around your ears, carrying the weight of stress and responsibility. The jaw you've been clenching without realizing it, holding back words you wanted to say or pain you didn't want to feel. The stomach that's been tied in knots of worry and anxiety. All of it is beginning to soften in this embrace that asks nothing of you except that you receive the love being offered. This is what your heart has been homesick for without you even realizing it. Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling of belonging, of being known and loved completely, of being able to rest without pretense or performance. You've been wandering in foreign territory for so long, trying to make yourself at home in spaces that required you to be someone other than who you truly are. But here, you don't have to translate yourself or edit yourself or improve yourself. Here, you're already fluent in the language of love, already a citizen of the kingdom of grace, already home. Feel how these arms are large enough to hold not just you, but everything you care about. Your children, if you have them, they're safe here too. Your parents, your spouse, your friends, your pets, everyone you love is held within this same protective embrace. The worries you carry about their well-being, their safety, their happiness, you can release those worries here, knowing that the love that holds you is also watching over them with the same tenderness and care. Your dreams that have been deferred or broken, they're safe here too. The love that's embracing you isn't just about comfort. It's also about restoration and renewal and the patient, persistent work of bringing dead things back to life. The hopes you've given up on, the prayers you've stopped praying, the possibilities you've declared impossible, they're all held here in hands that specialize in resurrection, in making all things new, in writing beautiful endings to stories that seemed destined for tragedy. You don't have to figure anything out right now. You don't have to solve your problems, or make your decisions, or plan your next steps. This embrace isn't preparation for getting back to work. It's simply rest for the sake of rest, love for the sake of love, comfort for the sake of comfort. There will be time later for action and planning and problem solving. Right now, there's only this: being held, being loved, being reminded of who you truly are beneath all the roles you play and all the expectations you carry. Who you truly are is beloved. Not potentially beloved if you get your act together. Not conditionally beloved as long as you meet certain standards. Not theoretically beloved in some abstract, theological sense. You are actually, presently, completely, irrevocably beloved. This isn't something you have to achieve or something you could lose. It's the fundamental truth of your existence, the bedrock reality that everything else in your life is built upon, whether you realize it or not. Feel how this love is both infinitely gentle and absolutely unshakable. Gentle enough to handle your most tender wounds without causing more pain. Patient enough to wait through your anger and your doubt and your fear without taking any of it personally. But also strong enough that nothing can threaten it or diminish it or convince it that you're not worth the investment. This love has staying power. It's not going anywhere. It's not dependent on your mood or your behavior or your circumstances. It's as constant as gravity, as reliable as the sunrise, as enduring as the universe itself. This is what you've been searching for in all the wrong places, isn't it? In achievements that gave you temporary satisfaction, but left you feeling empty. In relationships that promised to complete you, but ended up draining you. In possessions that you thought would make you happy, but only left you wanting more. In experiences that gave you a brief high, but couldn't touch the deep loneliness in your soul. You've been looking for unconditional love and acceptance and safety, and you've been looking in places that could never provide what only divine love can give. But now you've found it. Or rather, it's found you. Because this love has been pursuing you all along, through every detour and dead end, through every mistake and every triumph, through every season of closeness and every season of feeling abandoned. This love has been the invisible thread pulling you toward this moment of recognition, this instant of finally coming home to yourself and to the one who created you for connection, for intimacy, for love. Rest here as long as you need to. There's no rush, no agenda, no schedule to keep. These arms have held eternity and can certainly hold you through this moment of need, this season of weariness, this chapter of your story that feels too heavy to write alone. Let yourself be small here if you need to be small. Let yourself be weak here if weakness is what you're feeling. Let yourself need this if needing this is where you are. You're exactly where you belong, beloved. Exactly where you've always belonged. Welcome home. Listen, my beloved child. Listen not just with your ears, but with your heart, with your spirit, with every part of you that has been starving for these words. I have so much to tell you, so much love to pour over the wounded places in your soul, so many truths to whisper into the lies you've been believing about yourself. Come closer still. Let my voice be the only voice you hear right now, drowning out all the others that have been so cruel, so demanding, so quick to judge and slow to comfort. You are my beloved. Do you hear me? You are my beloved. Not potentially my beloved, if you clean up your act. Not conditionally my beloved, as long as you perform well. Not theoretically my beloved in some distant, abstract way. You are presently, actively, completely, irrevocably beloved by me. This is not something you earned or something you could lose. This is the fundamental truth of your existence. You were born beloved. You have lived beloved even in your darkest moments. And you will remain beloved for all eternity. I know you struggle to believe this sometimes. I know the voices in your head have been so loud, so convincing, telling you that love must be earned, that acceptance must be qualified, that you're only as valuable as your last achievement or as lovable as your most recent success. But those voices are liars, sweet one. They are echoes of a broken world that has forgotten how love actually works. They are not my voice, and they are not the truth about who you are. The truth is this: I delighted in you before you took your first breath. When you were just a whisper of possibility, a dream taking shape in the hidden places of creation, I was already singing over you with joy. I was already planning the unique way you would reflect my love in the world, already treasuring the particular beauty that only you could bring to existence. You were not an accident or an afterthought or a cosmic mistake. You were a deliberate choice, a beloved idea brought to life with intention and care and infinite tenderness. I know you've made mistakes. Oh, my dear child, I know about every single one of them, and I love you no less because of them. I know about the words you wish you could take back, the choices you regret, the times you've hurt others or hurt yourself. I know about the secrets you carry, the shame you hide, the guilt that follows you like a shadow. And I'm telling you now with all the authority of love itself. None of it changes how I feel about you. None of it diminishes your worth in my eyes. None of it makes you less deserving of my love and care and tenderness. You see, my love isn't based on your performance. It's based on my character. I don't love you because you're good. I love you because I am good. I don't care for you because you're worthy. I care for you because caring is who I am. My love isn't a reward for your behavior. It's a gift I give because giving love is my nature, my joy, my very essence. You could no more earn this love than you could earn the sunrise, or the rain, or the air you breathe. It's simply mine to give, and I choose to give it to you lavishly, extravagantly, without reservation or condition. I see you, beloved. I see all of you. Not just the version of yourself that you present to the world, carefully curated and edited to be acceptable. I see the you that exists in the quiet moments when all your defenses are down. I see the you that cries in the shower, that lies awake at 3 a.m. wondering if you're doing any of this right, that sometimes feels like you're faking your way through life, and everyone's going to figure out that you don't really know what you're doing. I see the you that loves so deeply it hurts, that feels so much it's overwhelming, that cares so intensely about others that you forget to care for yourself. I see the dreams you've buried because they felt too impossible, the hopes you've abandoned because you've been hurt too many times, the parts of your heart that you've closed off because letting them stay open felt too dangerous. And you know what I see when I look at all of that? All your struggles and fears and imperfections and beautiful, messy humanity. I see someone precious beyond measure. I see someone worth fighting for, worth dying for, worth loving with everything I have. I see my beloved child, exactly as you were meant to be, exactly as I created you to be, exactly as I choose to love you. You don't have to be perfect for me, darling. Perfect is boring. Perfect doesn't need love, doesn't need grace, doesn't need the kind of tender care that I long to lavish on you. I'm not interested in loving some flawless version of you that doesn't exist. I'm interested in loving this version, the real one, the struggling one, the one who needs comfort and guidance and reassurance that everything is going to be okay. I know you've been trying so hard to be everything to everyone. I see how you shape-shift and people-please and exhaust yourself trying to be the right kind of person for every situation you find yourself in. I see how you've become a master of masks, wearing whatever face you think will be most acceptable, most helpful, most likely to earn you the love and approval you crave. But you can take off all those masks with me, beloved. You can let down all those guards. You don't have to earn my approval. You already have it. You don't have to perform for my love. It's already yours. You don't have to be strong or wise or put together or anything other than exactly who you are right now, in this moment, with all your questions and doubts and fears and beautiful, broken places. I love your questions, by the way. I love that you wonder and wrestle and refuse to accept easy answers to complex problems. I love that your faith is real enough to include doubt, honest enough to acknowledge confusion, deep enough to keep seeking even when the path is unclear. I'm not threatened by your struggles with belief or your moments of anger at how unfair life can be. I can handle all of your emotions, all of your questions, all of your frustrations. I'm bigger than your doubts and stronger than your fears and more patient than your process of figuring things out. You've been so afraid that you're too much, haven't you? Too sensitive, too emotional, too needy, too complicated. You've tried to make yourself smaller, quieter, less demanding, more convenient for the people in your life. But I'm here to tell you that you are not too much for me. You could never be too much for me. Your sensitivity is a gift, not a burden. Your emotions are valuable, not inconvenient. Your needs are valid, not selfish. I created you with that tender heart for a reason. I designed you to feel deeply, to care intensely, to love with a kind of vulnerability that the world often sees as weakness, but I see as incredible strength. It takes courage to keep your heart open in a world that can be cruel. It takes bravery to keep caring when caring leads to pain. It takes extraordinary strength to keep loving when love has cost you so much. And you've been doing it, haven't you? Despite all the reasons you've been given to shut down, to protect yourself, to stop caring so much, you've kept your heart open. You've kept showing up for the people you love. You've kept trying to make a difference in whatever corner of the world you've been placed in. You've kept believing that love matters, that kindness matters, that your small acts of care and compassion matter. They do matter, precious one. They matter more than you know. Every time you've chosen love over fear, kindness over indifference, hope over despair, you've been reflecting my heart to the world. Every time you've comforted someone who was hurting, listened to someone who needed to be heard, shown up for someone who felt alone, You've been my hands and feet and voice in the world. I know it hasn't always felt significant. I know there have been times when you've wondered if anything you do really makes a difference, if your small contributions to the world actually matter in the face of so much pain and brokenness and injustice. But I'm telling you now, it all matters. Every act of love, no matter how small, creates ripples that spread farther than you could ever imagine. Every moment of compassion you've shown has been a light in someone's darkness. Every time you've chosen to be kind when you could have been cruel, gentle when you could have been harsh, understanding when you could have been judgmental, you've been partnering with me in the work of healing the world. You are not insignificant, my child. You are not unimportant. You are not just taking up space or using up resources or adding to the world's problems. You are a vital part of my story, an irreplaceable piece of my plan, a unique expression of my love that only you can offer. The world needs who you are, not who you think you should be. The world needs your particular way of seeing, your specific gifts, your individual perspective and heart and soul. I know you've been comparing yourself to others, measuring your life against theirs and finding yourself wanting. I know you look at other people's accomplishments and feel like you're behind, like you've wasted time, like you should be further along than you are. But comparison is a thief, beloved. It steals the joy from your journey, and the gratitude from your growth, and the peace from your present moment. Your path is not their path. Your timeline is not their timeline. Your definition of success doesn't have to match anyone else's definition. I have a unique plan for your life, a specific purpose that only you can fulfill, a particular way that I want to love the world through you. You can't discover that purpose by looking sideways at what everyone else is doing. You can only discover it by looking up at me, by listening for my voice, by trusting that I'm leading you exactly where you need to go, even when you can't see the destination. Some of the detours you think you've taken, some of the delays you think you've experienced, some of the seeming setbacks that have frustrated you, I've been using all of it. I've been weaving it into something beautiful, something meaningful, something that serves not just your growth, but the good of others as well. I waste nothing, beloved. Not your pain, not your mistakes, not your struggles, not your questions. All of it becomes part of the tapestry I'm creating with your life. All of it serves the larger story I'm writing through you. Trust me with your timing. Trust me with your path. Trust me with your purpose. I'm not in a hurry, and you don't need to be either. I'm not stressed about your progress, and you don't have to be either. I'm not disappointed in where you are right now, and you don't have to be either. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. And while you're in this process of becoming, while you're in this season of growth and change, and sometimes painful transformation, remember this, you're already enough. Not when you figure it all out, not when you get your act together, not when you reach some arbitrary standard of spiritual maturity or emotional health or life success. You are enough right now, as you are, with all your imperfections and uncertainties and areas that still need growth. You are enough because I say you are enough. You are valuable because I say you are valuable. You are worthy because I say you are worthy. And my opinion is the only one that ultimately matters, the only one that defines your true worth, the only one that determines your actual value. Rest in that truth, my beloved child. Let it sink into the deepest places of your heart, the places that have been starving for this kind of unconditional acceptance and love. You are mine, and I am yours, and nothing in all of creation can separate you from my love. Nothing you've done, nothing you might do, nothing that's been done to you, nothing that might happen to you, nothing has the power to change my heart toward you. You are loved with an everlasting love. You are held with an unshakable grip. You are treasured with an inexhaustible tenderness. This is who you are, beloved. This is whose you are. This is the truth that trumps every lie, the reality that outlasts every storm, the foundation that remains solid no matter how much everything else in your life might shift and change. Breathe that in, precious one. Let it fill every empty space in your soul. You are my beloved, and my beloved you will always be. Now, my precious child, as you rest here in my arms, I want you to feel something beginning to shift within you. Can you sense it? A gentle warmth, like sunlight breaking through clouds after a long storm, beginning to touch the places in your heart that have been cold and dark for so long. This is my healing touch, my restorative power, working its way through every wounded corner of your being. You've been carrying so much pain, haven't you? Some of it fresh and raw, like wounds that are still bleeding. Some of it old and deep, like scars that ache when the weather changes. Some of it so familiar that you've almost forgotten it's there, like a background hum of hurt that's become the soundtrack of your life. But I see it all, beloved. Every cut, every bruise, every broken place. And I'm here to heal what others have broken, to mend what life has torn, to restore what time and trauma have taken from you. Feel my touch on the places where you've been rejected. Those moments when you offered your heart, and it was handed back to you as if it weren't valuable enough to keep. Those times when you were excluded, overlooked, dismissed, made to feel like you didn't belong or weren't wanted. The sting of those rejections has been with you longer than you care to remember, hasn't it? Creating an echo in your spirit that whispers you're not good enough, not interesting enough, not worthy of being chosen or cherished or included. But I'm touching those memories now with truth that transforms pain into purpose, rejection into redirection, dismissal into divine appointment. Every person who failed to see your value was simply clearing the path for you to discover your worth in me. Every door that closed in your face was protecting you from settling for less than my best. Every rejection was really direction, guiding you away from places where you would never fully flourish and toward the destiny I've designed specifically for you. You are not the sum of other people's inability to love you well. You are not defined by their blindness to your beauty, their deafness to your voice, their failure to recognize the treasure that you are. Their rejection says nothing about your value and everything about their limitations. I'm healing that place in your heart now that took their no as evidence of your inadequacy. I'm replacing their voice with mine, their judgment with my truth, their rejection with my acceptance that has no conditions and no expiration date. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've been betrayed. Oh, how deeply betrayal cuts, doesn't it? When someone you trusted with your secrets uses them against you. When someone you counted on disappears when you need them most. When someone you loved chooses someone else, abandons your dreams, breaks promises that felt sacred. Betrayal doesn't just wound. It teaches you to doubt your own judgment, to question your ability to read people accurately, to build walls so high that love can barely find its way in. But I'm healing that broken trust, beloved. I'm teaching your heart to distinguish between those who are trustworthy and those who aren't without becoming cynical about love itself. I'm showing you that one person's betrayal doesn't mean everyone will betray you, that one broken promise doesn't mean all promises are lies, that one failed relationship doesn't mean you're destined to walk through life alone. Most importantly, I'm healing the betrayal you've experienced at your own hands, the promises you made to yourself that you didn't keep, the dreams you abandoned when they got difficult, the ways you've let yourself down, compromised your values, settled for less than you knew you deserved. The harshest betrayal is often the one we inflict on ourselves, isn't it? The self-criticism that's more brutal than anything anyone else could say, the standards we set that are impossibly high, the forgiveness we freely give to others but withhold from ourselves. I'm healing that relationship, the one between you and you. I'm teaching you to be gentle with yourself, patient with your process, kind to your own struggling heart. I'm showing you how to forgive yourself the way I've already forgiven you, how to extend to yourself the same compassion you would offer a beloved friend going through similar struggles. Feel my touch on the places where you've been abandoned. The parent who left physically or emotionally. The friend who drifted away when life got complicated. The spouse who decided you weren't worth fighting for. The children who grew up and forgot to call. The community that moved on without you. The dreams that withered because no one else believed in them the way you did. Abandonment teaches cruel lessons, doesn't it? It whispers that you're too much trouble, that love has limits, that everyone leaves eventually, so you might as well protect yourself by not getting too attached. It creates a hypervigilance in relationships, always watching for signs that someone is getting ready to walk away, always preparing for the inevitable goodbye. But I'm here to heal those abandonment wounds with the truth of my constancy. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Not when you're difficult, not when you're struggling, not when you're confused or angry or going through a phase that's hard to love. Not when you drift away from me. I simply wait patiently for you to return. Not when you doubt me or question me or feel like you can't sense my presence. I am with you always, in every season, through every storm, across every valley, up every mountain. My love doesn't have an expiration date, or a breaking point, or a limit to its endurance. I'm healing the part of you that's always braced for goodbye, always holding back just in case, always keeping an exit strategy ready, because it feels safer than risking another abandonment. I'm teaching your heart that it's safe to attach deeply, to invest fully, to love without reservation, because my love provides the security you need to take those risks with others. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've experienced abuse. I know this is tender territory, precious one. I know that some of the wounds you carry were inflicted by people who should have protected you, cherished you, created safety for you instead of danger. Whether the abuse was physical, emotional, sexual, or spiritual, whether it happened once or repeatedly, whether it was recent or decades ago, I see it all, and my heart breaks for what you endured. Abuse teaches the most devastating lies. That you somehow deserved it, that you could have prevented it, that you're damaged goods now, that your voice doesn't matter, that your no doesn't count, that your body isn't your own, that your spirit can be broken and discarded without consequence. Abuse steals innocence and trust, and the basic sense of safety that every person deserves to feel in their own skin. But I'm here to heal those deep wounds with truth that penetrates deeper than any lie. You did not deserve what happened to you. It was not your fault. You were not asking for it. You could not have prevented it. You are not damaged goods. You are a precious person who was treated badly by someone who was broken, not by someone who saw you clearly. Your voice matters immensely. Your no has power. Your body is your own, created in my image, deserving of respect and care and gentle treatment. Your spirit is resilient and beautiful and capable of healing completely. I'm not just healing the wounds, beloved. I'm restoring what was taken from you, the innocence that was stolen. I'm giving you a new kind of innocence, not naivety but wonder, not ignorance but hope. The trust that was shattered. I'm rebuilding it slowly, carefully, starting with helping you trust yourself. Trust your instincts, trust your right to set boundaries and have them respected. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've experienced loss. The people you've buried, the relationships that ended, the chapters of life that closed before you were ready to turn the page. Grief is love with nowhere to go, isn't it? And you've had so much love with nowhere to go. The words you wanted to say, but never got the chance. The experiences you wanted to share, but ran out of time. The forgiveness you wanted to offer or receive, but the opportunity passed. Loss teaches us that nothing lasts forever, that life is fragile, that we can't take anything for granted. These are valuable lessons, but they can also create a heaviness, a reluctance to invest deeply because everything ends, a fear of loving fully because loss is inevitable. Sometimes the anticipation of loss becomes almost as painful as the loss itself. But I'm healing your relationship with loss, helping you see that love doesn't end just because life ends, that relationship doesn't cease just because physical presence ceases, that the impact of those you've loved continues to ripple through your life and the lives of others long after they're gone. I'm teaching you to hold love and loss together, to grieve well while still believing that love is worth the risk of pain. I'm also healing the losses that feel less legitimate, but hurt just as much. The dreams that died, the futures that became impossible, the versions of yourself that you had to let go of as life took unexpected turns. The innocence you lost not through trauma, but through the simple accumulation of disappointments. The optimism that got worn down by repeated exposure to cruelty and injustice and suffering. These losses matter too, precious one. They deserve to be grieved. They deserve to be acknowledged. You don't have to minimize them or feel guilty for mourning them, just because they're not the kind of losses that others easily understand or validate. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've been wounded by shame. Shame is different from guilt, isn't it? Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am something bad. Guilt can lead to repentance and change. Shame leads to hiding and self-hatred, and a sense of being fundamentally flawed at your core. Shame often comes wearing religious clothes, doesn't it? Speaking in spiritual language about your sinfulness, your unworthiness, your need to grovel and beg, and prove yourself acceptable. But that voice is not mine, beloved. My voice doesn't condemn. It convicts and then immediately offers forgiveness. My voice doesn't tear down. It builds up. My voice doesn't shame. It loves you to wholeness. I'm healing the shame that's attached itself to your sexuality, your desires, your body, your humanness. I'm healing the shame that's wrapped itself around your mistakes, your failures, your moments of weakness or poor judgment. I'm healing the shame that whispers you're too much or not enough, too broken or too boring, too sensitive or too hard. Shame loses its power when it's exposed to love, and that's what's happening right now as my love shines into every corner of your heart where shame has been hiding. Shame cannot survive in the presence of unconditional love. It simply dissolves, like darkness disappears when you turn on a light. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've been wounded by fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being too much. Fear of failure. Fear of success. Fear of being alone. Fear of being hurt again. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of missing your purpose. Fear of running out of time. Fear of not being loved. Fear of not being able to love well. Fear has been a cruel teacher, hasn't it? It's taught you to play small, to avoid risks, to choose safety over growth, comfort over calling. Fear has convinced you that it's protecting you, but really it's been imprisoning you, keeping you from the fullness of life that I designed you to experience. I'm not healing your fear by taking away all the scary things in life. That would be impossible and wouldn't serve your growth. Instead, I'm healing your fear by increasing your trust, by helping you know in your bones that you're held and guided and protected and loved no matter what happens. I'm teaching you that you're braver than you think, stronger than you know, more resilient than you've given yourself credit for. Perfect love casts out fear, and my love for you is perfect, complete, whole, lacking nothing, requiring nothing, fearing nothing. As you receive this perfect love more fully, fear loses its grip on your decisions, your relationships, your dreams, your daily life. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've been wounded by disappointment. With life, with others, with yourself, with me. The way things turned out compared to how you thought they would. The prayers that seemed to go unanswered. The dreams that crumbled. The people who let you down. The times when you tried so hard and it still wasn't enough. Disappointment is particularly painful because it requires hope first. You can't be disappointed unless you first believed something good was possible. And maybe you've started to wonder if hope is just setting yourself up for more pain. If it's safer to expect nothing than to risk being disappointed again. But I'm healing your ability to hope, beloved. I'm not promising that you'll never be disappointed again. That would be dishonest and wouldn't prepare you for reality. But I'm healing the part of you that interprets disappointment as evidence that you're not loved, not protected, not guided, not held. I'm teaching you to see disappointment as redirection, as protection, as preparation for something better than what you originally wanted. I'm also healing the disappointment you felt with me. I know there have been times when you felt like I let you down, like I didn't show up when you needed me most, like I was silent when you desperately needed to hear my voice. I know you've wondered if I'm really good, really loving, really involved in your life the way I claim to be. Those feelings are valid, precious one. They don't offend me or threaten me or make me love you less. They're honest responses to living in a broken world where good people suffer, and prayers don't always get answered the way we hope, and life is often confusing and painful, and nothing like we expected it to be. But I'm healing your understanding of how I work, how I love, how I show up in the midst of suffering rather than always preventing it. I'm teaching you to recognize my presence in places you hadn't thought to look, in the friend who called at just the right moment, in the strength you found when you thought you had none left, in the peace that made no sense given your circumstances, in the way beauty still manages to break through even in the darkest seasons. Feel my healing touch on the places where you've been wounded by comparison. The constant measuring of your life against others' lives, your success against their success, your struggles against their apparent ease. Social media has made this wound particularly deep, hasn't it? Giving you front row seats to everyone else's highlight reels while you're living behind the scenes of your own messy, complicated, often painful reality. Comparison is a joy thief, a peace stealer, a gratitude killer. It takes whatever contentment you might have found in your own journey and replaces it with restlessness, dissatisfaction, a sense that you're always behind, always missing something, always not quite enough. But I'm healing your need to compare, beloved. I'm helping you see that your path is yours alone, designed specifically for you, taking you exactly where you need to go at exactly the pace you need to go. I'm teaching you to celebrate others' successes without diminishing your own worth, to appreciate their gifts without feeling like yours are inadequate, to honor their journeys without feeling like yours is somehow less valuable. I'm healing the part of you that believes love is scarce, that there's only so much success to go around, that someone else's blessing means less blessing for you. I'm teaching you that my resources are infinite, my love is inexhaustible, my plans for good are abundant enough to include everyone without anyone having to lose out. Feel my healing touch on the wounds that others can't see. The daily battle with thoughts that tell you you're not enough. The constant effort to appear fine when you're falling apart inside. The loneliness that persists even when you're surrounded by people. The existential questions that keep you awake at night. What's the point? Does any of this matter? Are you making a difference? Is there meaning to be found in the mundane moments that make up most of life? These invisible wounds are often the deepest ones, aren't they? They don't show up in X-rays or blood tests. They can't be bandaged or stitched or set in a cast. But they affect everything. How you see yourself, how you relate to others, how you move through the world. how much hope you can muster for tomorrow. I see these wounds, precious one. I know how much they hurt, how much energy it takes to carry them, how isolating it feels to struggle with pain that others can't see or understand. And I'm healing them with my presence, my truth, my love that penetrates to the deepest places and begins the slow, patient work of restoration. As my healing power moves through you, feel the tightness in your chest beginning to loosen. That knot of anxiety that's become so familiar you barely notice it anymore. Feel it starting to unravel. The hypervigilance that's kept you scanning for threats, preparing for the worst, bracing for impact. Feel it softening into peaceful awareness. Feel your nervous system remembering what safety feels like. Your shoulders dropping, your jaw unclenching, your breathing deepening, your heart rate slowing, your mind quieting. This is what healing feels like, not just the absence of pain, but the presence of peace. Not just the removal of what's broken, but the restoration of what's whole. But this healing isn't just about taking away pain, beloved. It's about restoring your capacity for joy, for wonder, for love, for hope, for trust, for all the beautiful emotions that trauma and pain and disappointment had numbed or stolen or convinced you were too dangerous to feel. I'm healing your ability to receive love without immediately wondering what the catch is, what you'll owe in return, when the other shoe will drop. I'm restoring your capacity to give love without depleting yourself, without losing yourself in the process, without compromising your own well-being. I'm healing your ability to hope without fear, to dream without shame, to want good things for yourself without guilt. I'm restoring your sense of wonder, your appreciation for beauty, your ability to find meaning and purpose and joy even in ordinary moments. I'm healing your relationship with your own body, helping you see it not as a source of shame or failure or disappointment, but as a miraculous gift, a temple for my spirit, a means of experiencing and expressing love in the world. I'm healing the ways you've punished your body, neglected your body, hated your body, demanded from your body without caring for it in return. I'm healing your relationship with time, helping you release the regret about the past and the anxiety about the future so you can be present to the gift of this moment. I'm teaching you that you have enough time for what matters, that you don't have to rush through life to prove your worth, that rest and reflection and simply being are just as valuable as doing and achieving and producing. I'm healing your relationship with yourself, the harsh inner critic that's been so cruel, so demanding, so impossible to please. I'm replacing that voice with my voice, teaching you to speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a beloved friend, the same compassion you would show a precious child, the same grace you would extend to someone you truly love. Most of all, I'm healing your ability to receive this moment, this embrace, this love that asks nothing of you except that you let yourself be loved. You don't have to earn this healing. You don't have to understand it, or explain it, or figure out how to pay me back for it. You just have to receive it, let it happen. Allow my love to do what love does best: restore, renew, make all things new. This healing isn't something that happens once, and then you're done, precious one. It's an ongoing process, a daily invitation, a lifelong journey of becoming more and more whole, more and more yourself, more and more free to love, and be loved without fear or reservation or condition. But right now, in this moment, feel how much has already shifted. Feel how much lighter you are, how much softer, how much more at peace. This is just the beginning of what I want to do in your life, the first fruits of the restoration that's already begun and will continue as long as you let me love you back to wholeness. You are being healed, beloved. You are being restored. You are being made new. And it's not because you've earned it or deserved it or finally gotten your act together. It's because this is what love does. This is who I am. This is how I feel about you. This is the gift I give simply because I choose to give it, and you are worthy to receive it simply because you are mine. Rest in this healing, precious one. Let it soak into every wounded place. Let it restore every broken thing. Let it make you whole. Now, my beloved child, as the healing settles deep into your spirit and peace fills every corner of your being, it's time to learn the most beautiful lesson of all: the art of letting go. Not the kind of letting go that feels like giving up or losing something precious, but the kind that feels like setting down a heavy burden you were never meant to carry, like releasing a breath you've been holding for far too long, like opening your hands to receive something infinitely better than what you've been grasping. Feel how these arms that have been holding you are strong enough to hold everything else too. Every worry that's been keeping you awake, every fear that's been following you like a shadow, every burden that's been weighing down your heart. I can carry it all. You don't have to figure everything out anymore. You don't have to solve every problem or fix every broken thing or have all the answers before tomorrow comes. Take that anxiety you've been carrying about the future, precious one. The one that whispers endless what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, that paints pictures of disaster and disappointment, that convinces you that something terrible is surely waiting just around the corner. Feel how heavy it is in your hands, how exhausting it's been to carry it everywhere you go. Now place it here, in my hands. Watch how it becomes small and manageable when I hold it, how the sharp edges that have been cutting you smooth out under my touch. Your future is not a mystery to me, beloved. I see every path before you, every possibility, every potential outcome. And in every scenario, in every timeline, in every version of your tomorrow that might unfold, I am there. I am working all things together for your good. I am writing a story with your life that has a beautiful ending, even if the middle chapters feel confusing or painful, or nothing like what you expected. You can trust me with your tomorrows because I am already there, preparing the way, arranging the details, orchestrating the encounters, opening the doors that need to be opened, and closing the ones that would lead you away from your highest good. You don't have to figure out the path. You just have to take the next step. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to trust the ground beneath your feet. Feel yourself releasing the need to control outcomes, to manipulate circumstances, to force doors open that are meant to stay closed, or to keep doors open that need to shut. There's such freedom in surrender, isn't there? Such relief in finally admitting that you're not in charge of the universe, that you don't have to orchestrate every detail of your life, that you can trust the one who speaks to storms and they obey, who calls stars by name and they answer, who holds the whole world in his hands and still has room for your heart. Let go of the guilt you've been carrying, dear one. That heavy, familiar weight that tells you you're not doing enough, not being enough, not loving enough, not giving enough, not praying enough, not trying hard enough. Guilt is a harsh master that's never satisfied, always demanding more, always pointing out where you fall short, always whispering that if you were better, if you tried harder, if you were more disciplined or more spiritual or more selfless, then maybe you would finally be acceptable. But acceptance isn't something you earn through perfect performance, precious child. You're already accepted. You're already loved. You're already enough. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Not because you've gotten everything right, but because love itself has chosen to make its home in you, to work through you, to be expressed in your unique and beautiful way. Place that guilt in my hands now. Watch how it dissolves in the light of truth. See how the accusations lose their power when they're exposed to unconditional love. You are forgiven completely, permanently, irrevocably forgiven. Not just for the big things that feel too terrible to mention, but for the small things too. The impatient words, the selfish moments, the times you chose comfort over courage, the opportunities to love that you missed because you were too tired or too hurt or too afraid. All of it is covered. All of it is washed clean. All of it is transformed from shame into grace, from condemnation into compassion, from evidence of your failure into proof of your need for love. And love has already responded to that need with more mercy than you could ever exhaust. Release the regret you've been holding about the past, beloved. The decisions you wish you could unmake, the words you wish you could unsay, the paths you wish you hadn't taken, the time you feel you wasted, the opportunities you feel you missed. The past has served its purpose in your life. It has taught you what it came to teach, given you what it came to give, shaped you in ways that were necessary for who you're becoming. You cannot change what was, but you can trust that even the painful chapters, even the mistakes, even the seasons that felt like wilderness wandering, all of it has been woven into the beautiful tapestry of your life. The dark threads make the light ones shine brighter. The rough patches make the smooth places feel like gift. The broken places become the places where light shines through most brilliantly. Your past does not define your future. Your mistakes do not disqualify you from love. Your failures do not determine your worth. You are not the sum of your worst moments or your poorest choices. You are a beloved child whose story is still being written, whose best chapters may very well be ahead, whose greatest victories may come from the very places where you once experienced your greatest defeats. Let go of the need to understand everything, precious one. The questions that have been tormenting you. Why did this happen? What was the point of that suffering? How could a loving God allow such pain? When will things finally make sense? You can rest those questions here too. Not because the questions aren't important, but because you don't have to solve the mysteries of existence in order to be loved, to have value, to find peace. Some things this side of eternity will remain mysterious. Some suffering will never make complete sense. Some prayers will seem to go unanswered in the way you hoped. Some stories will end without the resolution you longed for. And you can make peace with the mystery, beloved. You can find rest in not knowing, comfort in trusting, peace in believing that love is working even when you can't see how, especially when you can't see how. Your finite mind was never designed to comprehend infinite love. Your human understanding was never meant to grasp divine purposes that span generations and reach across time and space in ways that are too vast for any one perspective to contain. And that's not a failure on your part. That's simply the beautiful limitation of being human, of being a created being trying to understand the Creator. You can trust without understanding. You can have faith without having all the answers. You can rest in love without being able to explain how love works or why love chooses to work the way it does. Mystery isn't the enemy of faith. It's the invitation to go deeper, to trust more fully, to rest more completely in the arms of one who knows what you don't know and loves you in the knowing. Release your grip on the people you love, darling one. I know this feels counterintuitive, because loosening your hold feels like caring less, and you never want to care less about the people who matter to you. But there's a difference between loving someone and trying to control them, between caring for someone and trying to manage their life, between wanting good things for someone and demanding that good things happen to them according to your timeline and definition. The people you love, your children, your parents, your spouse, your friends, your family members who are struggling or suffering or making choices that worry you, they are held in the same love that holds you. They are watched over by the same care that watches over you. They are guided by the same wisdom that guides you, even when they can't see it, even when they're not listening, even when they're running in the opposite direction from everything you think would be good for them. You can love them without carrying the weight of their choices. You can care for them without taking responsibility for their happiness. You can want good things for them without exhausting yourself trying to make those good things happen. You can pray for them, support them, encourage them, but you don't have to fix them or save them or manage their lives. They have their own journey to walk, their own lessons to learn, their own relationship with love to discover. Your love for them doesn't have to be anxious love, controlling love, fearful love. It can be peaceful love, trusting love, hopeful love that believes the best is yet to come even when the present looks discouraging. You can love them and let them go, hold them and give them space, care for them and trust them to the one who loves them even more than you do. Let go of the dreams that aren't meant to be, beloved. The visions you've carried that don't match the path your life is actually taking. The hopes that have been disappointed so many times you're not sure if it's safe to hope anymore. The plans that keep getting derailed by circumstances beyond your control. Some dreams are meant to die so that better dreams can be born. Some doors are meant to close so that you'll turn toward the doors that are meant to open. I'm not asking you to stop dreaming, precious child. I'm asking you to hold your dreams lightly, to offer them to me with open hands, to trust that if a dream is truly meant for you, nothing can stop it from coming to pass. And if it's not meant for you, nothing you do can force it into existence. I'm asking you to be willing to exchange your dreams for my dreams for you, your plans for my plans, your vision for what would make you happy for my vision of what will actually fulfill you. My dreams for you are bigger than your dreams for yourself. My plans for you are better than your plans for yourself. My vision of who you can become and what you can accomplish and how you can love and be loved is more beautiful than anything you could imagine on your own. But sometimes you have to let go of the smaller dream to make room for the larger one. Release the good to receive the great. Trust that what feels like loss is actually preparation for gain. Release the need to be strong all the time, darling one. The armor you've been wearing, the mask you've been maintaining, the performance you've been giving of having your life together when inside you feel like you're falling apart. You don't have to be the strong one for everyone else anymore. You don't have to have all the answers or solutions or wisdom that others need. You don't have to be anyone's rock when what you need is to lean on the rock that never moves, never crumbles, never gets tired of supporting your weight. It's okay to be weak sometimes. It's okay to not know what to do. It's okay to admit you're struggling, to ask for help, to say you need support rather than always being the one who provides support. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. Admitting your needs isn't selfish, it's honest. Allowing others to care for you isn't a burden. It's a gift you give them, the opportunity to love you the way you've been loving others. Your strength doesn't come from never falling down. Your strength comes from getting back up, again and again, with the help of the one who lifts you up. Your courage doesn't come from never being afraid. Your courage comes from choosing love despite the fear, hope despite the disappointment, Trust despite the uncertainty. Now, as you release all of these burdens into my capable hands, feel how light you're becoming. Feel how much space there is in your heart now for peace, for joy, for rest, for the simple pleasure of being loved without having to earn it or maintain it or worry about losing it. Feel how much easier it is to breathe when you're not carrying the weight of the whole world on your shoulders. This lightness, this peace, this deep sense of being cared for. This is how you were meant to live, beloved. Not anxious about tomorrow, not burdened by yesterday, not overwhelmed by today, but present and peaceful and profoundly aware of being held by love that never fails, never disappoints, never lets go. As night begins to settle over your weary spirit, know that you can rest completely. You can close your eyes without fear because the one who never sleeps is watching over you. You can let your guard down because you are protected by love stronger than any threat you could face. You can surrender to sleep because when you wake, I will still be here, still holding you, still loving you with the same intensity and tenderness and faithfulness. I will watch over your sleep, beloved. I will guard your dreams, gentle your rest, and fill your slumber with the peace that surpasses understanding. I will be with you in the darkness, surrounding you with my presence, keeping you safe from every fear that tries to disturb your rest. When morning comes, I will be the first voice you hear, welcoming you to a new day, reminding you that my mercies are new every morning, that today is a fresh start, a new beginning, another opportunity to experience my love in ways you've never experienced it before. You don't have to worry about tomorrow's strength. It will be provided when tomorrow comes. You don't have to figure out how you'll handle future challenges. I will be there to help you face whatever comes. You don't have to solve problems that haven't happened yet, or prepare for scenarios that may never unfold. All you have to do right now is rest in this love, surrender to this peace, trust in this care that surrounds you like a soft blanket, like a gentle lullaby, like the tender embrace of someone who loves you more than life itself. Sleep now, my precious child. Sleep in the confidence that you are completely safe, utterly loved, and perfectly held. Sleep in the knowledge that you belong here, in these arms, in this love, in this peace that is your true home, your eternal resting place, your safe harbor in every storm. Sleep, beloved. Sleep and be restored. Sleep and let my love wash over you like gentle waves, healing what's been broken, restoring what's been lost, renewing what's been depleted. Sleep knowing that when you wake, you will still be mine, and I will still be yours, and nothing in all creation can change that beautiful, eternal truth. Rest now in perfect peace. You are loved beyond measure. You are held beyond doubt. You are safe beyond fear. You are home, precious one. You are finally home.